Okay, I think we're live, guys. We're doing it.
I think so. I think we are live.
There you go.
Hold on,
We don't know how to drink alone. This is the
let me
problem.
verify. Lonely guys in the bar. Oh yeah, I gotta get a drink.
Yeah. Oh, you now you remember to get a drink?
I have,
It's called like special late night. Have a drink with us pod.
I have. I
Yeah,
mean,
the wife made me a nice margarita.
So I was gonna open it
nice.
on here.
What do you got there?
I got I have a Dogfish Head culinary crafted cocktail vodka lemonade, some ice.
Mm, nice.
Time
Going.
to.
What's this one?
Gin and
I'm
San
going Gentleman
Pellegrino.
Jack, fellas.
Okay.
There you go. Let's pour this
You
in.
see, I'm going Gentleman Jack, fellas.
It's like a
Nice.
commercial. Check this out.
Bro, we got to get some sponsors, man. That's what we need.
Real American hero.
Brought to you by Dogfish Head.
That's already.
Oh, that's good. That's refreshing. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? I think we start off with how my kids are talking about 69s now.
Oh, geez. Yeah, man.
Damn.
I-
Damn.
That video was just sad,
I know-
bro.
I know you said
Sad.
you were gonna post it on the internet, but I was like, I don't know about that.
No. So, yeah, we were at dinner, and just to give everybody a heads up, my 10-year-old is everyone, the 10-year-old and the 9-year-old think 69 means sex. Okay. It doesn't, they don't know what it actually means, but it just means sex. And so, like, just to hear them talk about that, well, we were cracking up.
No, but that your one kid at 27 seconds made it very clear that he absolutely knows
Well, yeah, he's like
what things are.
penis, penis, vagina.
It's ridiculous.
Here's a question. At what age did
What
you
are
guys
you,
discover
what are you doing
porn?
in the metaverse?
We've told him about sex, like what that there's when a man loves a woman, and you wait till you're around 28.
Oh, you're gonna get in trouble. What do you mean by man? What do you mean by woman?
Well, I'm just using my old, I'm old, so I can talk about the
Oh,
way it
right,
used to
right.
be in the past.
Right.
Here's a question. What age did you guys discover porn?
Probably around 10.
10? Yeah, that's about the right age where it's just like,
I was later. I mean, I was
Yeah?
a kid I was a kid. I was born in like 77, so I was a kid in the
Yeah.
80s. There was no like internet. It was like that one creepy friend that you have,
Well,
Yeah.
the older people who had magazines, I don't know if like the uncle who had magazines, he would find his stash of magazines,
yeah.
and they were the dirtiest things. Those
Yeah.
magazines were.
For me, it was the gas
Vitaly was like,
station.
and it was at that moment I made it my mission to become that guy.
Yeah, I wish.
For me, it was a gas station. So I used to work at like my uncle's gas station in the summers. So I was just like, ooh, let me look at the magazine. And when he wasn't looking at it, like I flashed one real quick and I brought it home and I had a porno mag and that was like my porno mag for like a good 2 years. And then I got bored.
That must have
You have
got a lot of
you have
use.
A lot of your life is centered around gas stations.
Yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
what happens when you're Indian.
I thought he was going
I
to say
grew-
glory hole.
I grew up around
Jesus.
around gas stations and motels, bro. That's like a
Mm.
Patel thing,
That's good.
Yeah.
Who owned the gas station? Who was it? Your uncle?
Is that the one
Yeah.
that you went into things?
No,
Like the business with your-
No, he's like super well off. He owns like 8 gas stations and like a few motels now. It's yeah, I mean once you realize like how great the business is if you're willing to put the effort into it, you could just keep, going and going. And yeah, the guys right now living the good life, his son and daughter are both very well off. So I think a lot of people they look at a gas station and just be like, "Oh, it's just a podunk gas station." But the amount of cash flow that comes out of there is nuts.
Is it going down? I'm curious. Is it because
No.
it's
no.
still fine.
Because the thing is, like, you don't really make money on the gas. You make money on the
Right.
stuff on the inside. I mean, you think
On-
about
right. on the food,
yeah, you think
whatever.
yeah,
you're
you think
asking.
you think about the volume of, I mean, the amount of margin that you make on stuff. Like you're getting stuff for pennies and you're selling it for dollars. That's essentially the business of a gas station, right? It's all about
Right.
the convenience factor. The other thing is,
It is
a
called
lot
a
of-
convenience store.
yeah,
You
a
know?
lot of times, a lot of people think, oh, just because like electric cars are going to come around, that convenience stores are going to go out of business. It's like, no, people will still have to be on trips. They'll still go to it.
Oh no, it's even
The
going to be
other-
longer. You're going to be there longer. You're going to be 30 minutes at that
Mhm.
convenience store. So you got to have.
Yeah,
to
but do you
whatever.
think that you would pull over and just stop? Knowing you got to be there for 40 minutes, are you going to pull over and stop right by the side of the highway? I don't think so.
No, but that's going to be the thing. I mean, maybe in the future you're going to have a charging station, and then you're going to have like a sit down area where you have like almost like a food court, right? I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you guys ever been to like down south, if you ever been to Bucky's, you would see you would see that where you'd have like 100 pumps. Everyone just pumps their gas, but then goes inside, and there's like food here. There's
Mickey
like,
Hobbs.
yeah. So it's one of those things. The other thing is like in gas stations, they've been good at diversifying the inside stuff.
Oh,
So
did we freeze? Are we? I don't know what's going on.
No, we didn't freeze. We're good.
Oh, okay. I didn't check.
Yeah.
Someone said we froze. All right.
Yeah.
Michael,
Yes.
hit refresh.
Yeah. So it's so yeah, you like back in the day, you would never see like a Subway inside a gas station. Now a lot of Subways have, like pizza, they've got Subways,
Yep,
they've
yep.
got, all these other things. So those are additional cash generators that, that basically add to the value of the business. So a lot of people, they started doing that, where now not only do they have your regular convenience section, but you have some sort of hot food in there as well.
Right, but my question is it going to be in the same footprint real estate wise as where current gas stations are? That's what I think is going to change. I think a lot of those companies, like they have the big parking lots, say out here, it's like Vaughn's has a big one, or Rouse. They're going to be able to monetize that parking lot, because otherwise they're just giving the parking spaces away to people for free. Damn, J. Kim. All right, every time. This one's for you.
Well, I think what is changing, if we were talking about this, but gas stations, the way they're like, your uncle has it, and I don't know how he has to adapt. Honestly, I have no idea how. But like I said, when I went on that road trip with the supercharger network, those superchargers are mostly located not on the actual highway. There's a few like at the big places, but most of them were like, you go off the road, you're 5 minutes away on a Walmart, or you're at a Kroger's or whatever. You're at some supermarket or you're Target. You're going to shop in there. So I'm wondering how these gas stations in like 5 to 10 years get affected. Like, what happens to your uncle? I don't know the answer to that unless he changes with the times. But it's weird. I just had a UPS driver, by the way, and I just assume everybody doesn't have electric, because I don't see a lot of I see Teslas, but I don't know a lot of people who have Teslas. I think Carlos knows more people now because he sold like 8 personally.
I sold
Oh,
6. 6. I just sold my
you should have
6th one.
Supercharger network for free. But
Oh, wait, okay. You after you're done, I have a story about that, which I think is fucked up.
yeah, well, I had a guy, a UPS driver, come by, and he comes off, and I sort of know his face, and we started talking about electric. He's like, "Oh, how do you like the Tesla and everything?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's great. You should really check out electric." He's like, "Oh, I have a Kona EV, which is
Dun, dun, dun.
No,
If
which
you know
is-
the story.
there's another story to that. My wife was supposed to. I faked her out that I was getting her a Kona. That's a separate story. I was sort of fucking with her, but but anyway, he actually has a Kona EV, and I'm like, "So do you like it? Tell me about it." He's like, "Yeah, I love it." But he didn't know nothing about the actual like infrastructure in terms of what it costs to charge, what it does this, because his wife is handling all the bills. But basically, like, even the UPS driver now has an EV. Like, it's crazy that it's expanding, that I didn't even think. Like, immediately my thing is, how do I sell him an EV, right? Like, let me tell you about the Tesla.
Wow.
Let me tell you about solar. Let me tell you about this. But no, I already have an EV. I also have solar on my roof. I'm like, fuck, man.
I mean,
Why am
that
I
guy,
telling you any of this?
that guy knows something about energy, right? He's driving that thing around.
Oh,
all
look,
day
Amit gives
long.
us $5. You're not getting
Yeah.
that back, buddy.
All right, Amit's never allowed on the podcast again.
We have to answer his thing, I guess. What did he say?
I have a lot of work to do, so I'll enjoy this entertainment in the background. Make sure to talk about Palantir at some point so I don't fall asleep. We'll put it on. We'll start talking about Palantir so you do go to sleep.
Yeah, let's remember they're not getting in the S&P.
Oh, that's a whole thread. I responded to something that he said that I actually wanted to talk to him about, and about, like Johnny mentioned, the sucking straws comment. I think he's hiding from us tonight on Twitter.
Well, wait, let me answer this one. Carlos, how do you find it annoying long trips to stop for 20, 40 minutes at a time, lose a few hours over a long trip? During the winter, it was kind of annoying, and I still have a video that I'm making, but I had a Thule on top of my roof, so I lost between 30, even at times 50% range with the Thule on and the wind, and so I was losing a lot of range. So I would say EVs are not quite ultra ready for winter, the winter conditions I was in with the strong winds and the Thule on top. I think that sort of killed me, and the 4 passengers in the car. You know what I mean?
That's
That
that's what really killed you was the Thule.
That was
Awful.
killing my range. But how many times do I go on a road trip to Michigan? The question is once a year. I don't know, so maybe once every 2 years. So in terms of daily driving, I don't worry about it. I don't get, what is it called now? I even forgot the
Range
term.
anxiety.
I don't get range anxiety. I get 300
You
miles.
get different kinds of anxiety. But hymns works for everyone.
What? How did you pivot to hymns? I don't even know. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I don't think it's a
performance
problem
anxiety.
honestly for everyday driving. I think still the long trip is still an issue until we get to like 500-mile EVs.
Hmm.
For me, it actually was not. It actually was not that much of an issue. I'm going to post the link to the drive that I did in the winter, the one that I did. I'll just post it into the comments so they can check it out. I found that it's actually not because most of the time when even if you're driving an ICE vehicle, yes, there's sometimes when you just pull over, get gas, and leave, but most of the time you're stopping to do something else. And even if you're not, what I find sometimes is that when I want to go, this is what we started talking about at the beginning. I'll pull over somewhere where I can just go do some business, go shopping or do something else that I might not need to, where I would have normally stopped and just sat around at a gas station for 10 or 15 minutes.
I think this might leave actually an opening for hydrogen vehicles to come
Oh,
into
boy.
the market.
No.
No. Hold on. Before you guys,
Why? Because
before
people want to pour a fluid in there. Come on, man.
Dude,
No,
how
no,
am I
no.
gonna charge my hydrogen car at my house? That's the only thing I gotta tell you.
Okay, so number one, I'm not saying for personal vehicles, so definitely no hydrogen infrastructure for personal. It's just too efficient to have an electric car. But for fleet utilization vehicles like trucks, unless the EV trucks can really like get this whole range thing down and also the charging down, they're not necessarily the alternate that people think they are just yet for large scale trucking and also for aircraft. Like I was looking at, I do some side research. And the one that always seems to always keep coming up is Plug Power. I don't know if you heard of that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that seems to always keep coming up. And so I looked at them and it looks like an interesting company with a lot of interesting counterparties. Like that's the part that always gets me, that how many people are actually using the technology. And so it's not just, okay, they have a dead technology that no one utilizes. The actual technology is there. They're partnering with a lot of aircraft manufacturers so that this way they can use hydrogen on an airplane, which seems to me that it'd be a dangerous proposition. But I don't know. Maybe there's some safety mechanism that they built in. But if you are, I don't think there's ever going to be an electric plane that flies long range like transatlantic. Maybe it could do like short hops like the Jobies and the Liliums of the world. But in terms of like moving a giant people mover across international, like across large bodies of water, I think if they are going to go the route that they want to have like clean, sustainable, emissions free energy utilization, it might end up being hydrogen takes the place of that. So it's almost like every airport will have a hydrogen fueling station where the planes can get fitted with hydrogen, filled with hydrogen. So yeah, have you done any research on that by any chance, you guys, like Plug Power?
Do you see this by any chance?
World's largest battery.
The problem with battery.
Do you see this?
The problem with battery powered
Not yet.
aircraft.
No, but I'm saying just recently, besides Enovix, I mean, I'm sure Johnny wants to talk about Enovix, but here the largest battery maker, Cattle, is already increasing their battery density to 500 watt hours per kilogram. So these are massive improvements that are happening now pretty quickly in batteries. And the only reason it's happening is because Elon Musk has pushed the whole industry forward. Now the industry has taken off like a rocket. We haven't had battery improvements in, I don't know, a decade. Like it's been slow going. And all of a sudden, all these battery companies, the biggest one on earth, Cattle, is coming out with better batteries. Enovix is coming out with better batteries. So I think your hydrogen thing might be right in the interim. But eventually, even Elon said, what do we need? 1,500 watt hour per kilogram? I forgot exactly for planes. I forgot
what it was. But
it was something like that.
That
But
is
we're not there yet. Even if we're not
Yeah.
there yet for that, I think eventually we are going to get there just because how quickly technology actually improves. And I think you're discounting that when there's a lot of money behind it. Because for 10 years, nobody cared. And all of a sudden, people do care now, right?
Yeah.
The problem with it is it's a power to weight ratio, right? So it's energy density. If you could store more power in the battery and less weight, then that would give you insufficient lift and give you the range. So that's really what it comes down to. It's not that some people want to use combustion, but that's just what gives you the most bang for your buck, power to weight wise. So I think it's just a matter of time. Like you're saying, I mean, they'll still use traditional combustion, but at a certain point when the cost of batteries or the density, more importantly, comes down, that's when it's a wrap.
And by the way, it's not hydrogen combustion, it's fuel cells, right? So basically you have hydrogen crossing membranes, depositing electrons. So it's a whole different type of thing.
That's the exhaust being water.
Yeah, so you don't have a situation where you have like a combustion chamber, like a traditional engine where you have like many explosions happening. This is a whole different type of technology. It's completely quiet, silent. It seemed like a very promising technology about 10, 15 years ago prior to
Yeah, I
Tesla
was
becoming
when they
yeah,
first started talking about that for sure. Like that
yeah.
Nikola truck, if they did that 15 years ago, every truck would be a
I think the
Nikola.
problem is they missed their window. I think that's the problem. The
First,
window.
what we say, first mover advantage. It's like, how can someone compete with Google right now? It's like, but people
Well,
aren't
no, no,
seeing
no,
it
no.
that
It's
way.
just
People are just giving it
infrastructure
credit.
wise. Like right now, I think you look. You could be right about the semi trucks. Maybe they're going to go a little bit that way. It's going to be a mixture, right? It won't just be all electric. I think you're right about that. Uh, but I think it's moving so fast that even the semi trucks in a decade will be all electric. It just won't make sense
Mm,
because, like, think about the charging infrastructure as opposed to the actual infrastructure for hydrogen. The amount of money it takes to build that infrastructure, like we
But
already
even
have
so,
the in no, but hold on, we already have the infrastructure for electricity. It's already there. All they have to do is now just tap into it. That's a different thing than
yeah,
actually trying to produce the
hydrogen.
hydrogen somewhere and cleanly too. Let's not forget.
but
So
you
if
also
that's
have to also have to transport the hydrogen.
well,
Like
no,
the
you can
hydrogen needs
produce
to
it on
go.
site, but you
You
can
can,
use a
yeah,
bunch of electricity to produce it on site, or
yeah.
It's so ridiculous. They'll use a gas generator to power an electric generator to generate hydrogen.
and I
It's
did
No,
look into hydrogen. There's
so
different levels of
inefficient.
hydrogen. There's like green
Yeah,
hydrogen, dirty hydrogen,
yeah.
brown hydrogen, whatever, all these levels.
so inefficient.
So I think they missed their window. That's my point. At least
I would
for
have I would have always thought that you could have took something like a regular source of water, had like solar panels attached, and then use the solar panels to generate electricity to split the water, create the oxygen and the hydrogen, and then use the hydrogen as a fuel source. So it's almost like, let's say you're in the middle of the Arizona desert, right? You could have just hooked it up with a whole bunch of solar cells. I mean, this is like 10 years ago. This was the thought pattern that I had, because I think somewhere along California, there was actually a lot of things. I think what's his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you guys remember, he was promoting this like H2 Hummer. Do you guys
a long
remember
time,
that?
a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I mean, this is how technology works, right? You have technologies that come. Sometimes they're a really good idea and sometimes they're a bust. And sometimes new technologies come and disrupt the whole thing. I mean, if you would have said to anyone 10 years ago, maybe, well, technically 13 years ago, the electric cars are the future and this is where we're going to end up, they would have laughed in your face. They would have said, no, it just doesn't have
What year
the
was
cost
the
of the
EV
batteries.
the
Yeah.
EV6, the original GM one? You ever see that documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember being on board with that when they came out.
But,
People are
Yeah.
but,
like
but
real
hold
sad
on
when
to your response to
watching
your
it.
solar thing. If you are producing, if you're producing electricity with solar panels and then you're using it
Mhm.
to make hydrogen, it seems like
You
what's
should
wrong
just
with
use
you?
the we
Uh,
should just use the electricity.
well, yeah. So let's say eventually the
Yeah.
solar panels improve because right now it's around 20% efficiency, maybe 25 in the best case.
Mhm.
Imagine now you're producing 50% efficiency on solar panels at some point.
Yeah.
Why do you need to go to hydrogen? If
No,
the
but that's what,
efficiency is increasing on the actual thing to create the electricity that you're using for your vehicle,
right. No, I'm saying that was the original idea back in the
okay,
day, where
I follow you.
that was what they wanted to do, because they didn't think that people would have a electric car that was 100% run on batteries. Like the
Right,
idea of that was still like cockamamie to most people, because
right,
they
right,
were
right.
looking at it purely from a cost perspective to say, look, a fuel cell is not going to be expensive. We just have to store the hydrogen there and it's quick, easy. So I think what happens is people get into this zone where they find the current habits and they tailor technology around that. So the habits that we got used to was you stop by a station, you plug your car into something, and that, charge that gives it juice, right? And then that juice is used to move the car. So it's just it was a completely different concept. I think electric cars, of course, they're the future. It's just a question of, is every industry going to have that? Same thing with ships. Like right now, emissions in terms of carbon output and greenhouse gas outputs is actually, I think, almost 10% just ships going across like
It's
across the
like
world.
12% semis.
Yeah. So
Just
if if the
that's why they went to
You,
attack
you,
that
you're
market.
not talking about small ships. You're talking about those big tankers
Oh
Barges,
that
yeah,
are
tankers, yeah, cruise
right.
ships, tankers, things like that. So the question is, can batteries be used on that? Like, yeah, I think so. I think, like, if you think of submarines have batteries, but I'm not sure that they run a lot. Like, it's still a lot of diesel and a lot of nuclear. I mean, we're looking at
Nuclear.
aircraft
It's
carrier, it's
nuclear.
nuclear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah, I
just
think
it just
hydrogen
comes
could
down to
work in
weight.
that scenario. Huh?
it just comes down to weight. If
Yeah.
if a cargo ship weighs significantly more than it does now, it cuts down its available cargo.
I wonder if
capacity. Doesn't-
I wonder if Tesla's working on like putting a mega pack on a ship, attaching it to the fucking engine, and there you go. Now you got yourself an electric
Yo,
ship.
let's go to Chat GPT right now and ask it. Draw me a picture of a boat.
Well,
why
still,
not?
how far would that get you? That's the question. I'm not
with a
sure.
mega
I'm not
pack?
sure how far that would get you.
I mean, a mega
realistically.
seems like the XL mega packs, enough of them could power an entire city. So why not just have a whole bunch of them on a ship, right?
Oh man.
You're
and
saying
just
buy
turn-
4 of them, buy 4 mega packs, and be
4 or
done.
5, whatever. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's crazy, but that is the idea. Like what you were saying before, like how you were talking about the way people think the future is going to be. I've heard it said that people think the way to the future is not by perfecting the old technology, but by inventing a new one, right? It's like we're not going to have 2,000 mile per gallon gasoline ever. It'll just be gone before like something will replace it. It's that idea, So people thinking like, yeah, well, if we're not going to burn gasoline, what are we going to burn? Or what are we going to use? And it was like hydrogen, whose only exhaust was water vapor,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technology does move fast. Think about it this way. Even 10 years ago, if I told you there'd be a car that drives itself, even like a teenager, you'd be like,
Yeah, no,
I
it
don't
sounds
know. I don't know
ridiculous.
about that.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds ridiculous.
it sounds almost stupid. But now, like, I'm telling you, autopilot drives me 80% of the time. It's not even full self-driving. And I'm like, damn, this is good. I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's really good in terms of, I'm not talking about full self-driving. I'm talking about autopilot, just the
Yeah, but
standard.
even
keeping the
that
lane.
on long trips when you're tired, like, or you just want to relax for a minute, like it's just
No, but it is
it's
amazing.
like being
Look
you're
at the
being a
phone,
passenger. It's awesome.
eat your sandwich. I could finally eat a sandwich without like, the juggle you used to have to do
Yeah.
to try to eat something.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like it's nice to just put it into like double click it for 2-3 minutes. I can actually take a bite, take a drink, and not be all afraid that I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Matt Money asks, is Amit too cool for us? Yeah, right now he is. He's busy.
What
doing
does that mean? He's busy.
Yeah,
working?
Matt. And we're also
Yeah.
talking about the end of oil. So there you go.
I don't think Matt's worried, man. Oil.
I'm not worried about it too, by the way. It's
Yeah.
not going away. I'm not worried about it.
Electric cars haven't made nearly
Here's
the
it,
amount
wait.
of dent that people think they have. Just
Yeah,
yet,
it's what is it? 3%, 4%?
Bring up
Yeah.
Jay Kim's question at 3.
But the thing is,
44.
when something is on an S curve, people ignore like, and Elon said this: humans are not good at determining exponentials. Like we cannot
we think
understand.
linearly. Yeah, we think linearly.
Yeah. Like we think, okay, this is going to play out. Like we talk about FSD, but forget about that for a second. Just like, oh, this EV adoption will play out over 10 years, 15 years, but maybe within 5 years, it's mostly done. Honestly,
I can't imagine. I'm looking around and I can't imagine anyone 2027, 2028,
Yeah,
like
who's
still
buying
going
it?
up. Who is going to be? And so I ask myself, it's like buying a 4-year-old Xbox or something, or like what would the equivalent of that be? Where you just go,
no, but it's similar. Yeah, actually the equivalent is an iPhone. Imagine you're buying an iPhone from 2008. Like, would you want to? Like, yeah, it still does iPhone things.
Or no, you know what it would be? It would be. Do you remember like all the shit that Apple got when they got rid of the headphone jack? It was like memes like, oh, you're gonna drop them. Now it's like imagine still having cords on your headphones.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine each earbud didn't cost $200. Just imagine that world.
Imagine if you could just buy them in the gas station.
Like I lose
things
one
like-
and I'm like, I'm going crazy searching for it everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you could find them. They have ways of,
no, they
the
don't. You have no
Apple.
way to find it.
You go to Find My iPhone and you can see it on a map.
Yeah.
You could find your earplug.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
just lost them
And-
recently. I don't.
Oh my
I can,
God,
I can
dude.
go find them.
Yeah,
Oh,
what you do is you go to
Jesus.
Find My iPhone, you'll find them, and then you'll click you'll say play a sound, and it'll
Even
warn you and say,
individuals, you can find them individually.
Yeah,
That's the part
yeah,
that's cool.
you
Oh
can
my
find them
God, you're
individually.
right. Hold on.
and you can walk around the house
Hold
like a tricorder in Star Trek, and you just like that thing in Aliens,
Yeah.
the proximity sensor, and you'll go right to them. I found them so many times like that.
Oh, it's trying to
Yeah.
connect, so it's not even connected. Maybe it's all dead now.
It could be, well, yeah, they have to be charged.
So here's here's the thing that someone's asking. I wanted to talk about Weight Watchers. I know a lot of people.
All right, guys, time to go. Thanks for joining us on the
Yeah.
pod. It's been great.
No, okay.
Look-
What do you want to say about? And then I want to go back to this question from Jay Kim at 8:44 about BYD. Go.
Okay, so I think a lot of people underestimate the total market potential for Weight Watchers to successfully reinvent themselves as a combo between behavioral
That's
therapy
a good
and
one.
actual medication therapy. So what it is like right now, how many members do you think Weight Watchers has actively around the world right now? What are your guesses?
3 million.
You, Carlos?
Weight Watchers around the world.
Yeah.
I'll say 7 million people.
So you're somewhere in the middle. So it's close to 4 million. All right. There are 4 million active users that are using Weight Watchers right now. They're still operating cash flow positive. They do have debt on their books. So that's one of the major like bear cases against them that, hey, look, they have a lot of debt. So they have a market cap of less than, I think when I was looking at them, less than 400 million. I think it's about 600 million right now at the current stock price, or actually maybe a little bit more than that. And the value proposition is there for this company. They got a brand new CEO last year who came from, if you guys remember during the pandemic, there was something called House Party that everyone started using. That got bought by Epic Games. So they brought a CEO in who's like a disruptive, like a tech savvy disruptive CEO. So what she did was, instead of trying to fight against the norm, like very similar to how Netflix was, where people were like, oh, the DVD business, you know, like we want our retail footprint. We have already invested all this capital. She didn't just leave that alone. Like she didn't just say, okay, yeah, this is what Weight Watchers business is. This is what we're going to do forever. She said, no, let's reinvent things. Let's look at what's out there for the general public.
What was the biggest difference? What was the biggest thing, the biggest change in the product that was like, boom, this is the new catalyst?
So what she did was she acquired a company called Sequence. Sequence provides telehealth services specifically for weight loss medication. What is that thing called? Acquisition. So basically right now, if you wanted to get on a weight loss plan, let's say you're obese, but not like a little bit of weight, you're talking about like really obese. Your BMI is above 30. Right now, you would have to go to your doctor. The doctor recommends you go to endocrinologist. The endocrinologist then gives you prescription for this specific weight loss management drug. Then you have to take the weight loss management drug. You have to actually, there's a process that you have to take. You have to titrate it. So you can't just like, okay, here you go, put a shot in, you're good to go. No, you have to slowly wean yourself on it. And then you have to take it and you have to be continuously monitored for it. So I think the infrastructure is slowly developing right now where these drugs are becoming more and more commonplace. So if you look at ED drugs back when they first came out, it was just like, it's a joke, right? It was just like, oh, like erectile dysfunction, whatever. But then when it became really, really popular, everyone started to get in on it and a lot of people started using it. So it's the same thing with these weight loss drugs where they're actually very effective. They've been clinically proven. Some people have dramatically changed up their entire lives by getting on some of these drugs, where they've lost 25-30% of their body mass using these drugs. So you're thinking about 250 pounds, you could lose almost 60-75 pounds without having to go through surgery. Like the other alternative for a lot of these people was surgery. And it's like, I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, you should just diet and exercise. And I don't think that's really possible.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask, like, what part of exercise goes with it? Like, do they partner with companies? Do they partner with companies for like
that's
like Peloton? You know, that would be great.
Perfect. So that's perfect that you asked that question. Weight Watchers has extensive partnerships with actually like companies that provide better nutrition. So as an example, what is that thing called? Blue Apron, right? The one where he lets you cook at home and stuff. They have a partnership with Blue Apron. They have a partnership with, believe it or not, New York City, so that New York City, its employees can get on Weight Watchers if they want. They have meetups for it. So there is already an existing.
So Chris, are you going to these meetups?
No, I'm not. I don't need it. I'm not obese. I mean, I have a little bit extra weight, but I'm not.
How do you know that these meetups are happening then? Are you researching?
I mean, it's all over the internet. Yeah, you can go to YouTube. You just type in Weight Watchers, and you can see what it is. So this isn't some just new company. They've been around. They're a household name.
I know. I've heard them ever since I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doctor recommended on so many levels because the effective treatment of weight loss is actually very beneficial for a lot of people. Because if you think about all the issues that a person can have, because they have overextended weight, it's bad. Like you're higher chance of heart.
Look at the numbers during the pandemic. Just look at the numbers. Yeah. It was vastly different morbidity and hospitalization rates.
Yeah. So with a combination between diet and exercise and also these GLP-1 medications, you can actually create a very effective product, and they can monetize that because now they have this company that can actually help you access those drugs. So it's like taking your existing user base and marketing for weight loss, converting some of them to these GLP-1 medications, right? And they're going to have commission based on that. So it's really value accretive, and they're so undervalued right now based on that yeah, based on my calculation, I got to the same exact calculation that Goldman did, which was at least $12 a share. But that was when it was trading at $4 a share.
What
So
is it now?
I've gone up $8, eight
Oh,
something.
so you bought it at 4?
Yeah, yeah. And I bought options. I bought a lot of options. So I'm sitting pretty
So
right
are you
now.
a millionaire yet?
Not a millionaire, but I'm doing well.
Yeah,
I'm doing
you're
very
doing
well
at this
year.
point, you've gotten everything right. So
I would say
When they
everything
talk
right
when they
now.
talk about Weight Watchers stock, do they still use terms like underweight, overweight, or do they?
I don't know. I
something
don't know how that. I don't know.
'Cause that'd be
They-
kind
I
of
think-
messed up to be like
Well,
Weight
I,
Watchers.
Yeah.
look,
Weight Watchers is overweight.
you
Yeah.
got some kudos for me for like going into these stocks and like researching
Yeah.
companies that are like, to me, just like fucking mind-numbingly boring. Like I
Dude,
can't even.
I'm telling you, this is why I was like, he's got to meet Phil, because this is what Phil. It's
Right,
like
right,
talking
right.
to Phil on the phone.
No, it's good. It's like
We'll
because
go- he
the
did it with us when in the beginning of the pandemic. He went on and on about like Smile Direct.
yeah,
and he
all that
understands the business and the thing, and he's looking at the short interest. And I was like, the charts. He doesn't care about any of that. And he's like, based on me, I think that we should see a
Right.
short squeeze. Da da da. And I'm
Well-
telling you, it happens like fucking clockwork.
Well, you know what happened to me? It was I looked at these GLP-1 medications first, right? So I was like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about these GLP-1 medications. You've got even Elon Musk tweeted it out saying, oh, Ozempic is X, Y, and Z. And so he actually put it out there. So I was like, okay, let me look at this drug and see how I can benefit from it, like in terms of return. Because if this is something that's coming and it's going to be very popular and people don't necessarily listen, know about it, it's a value proposition. Think about it right now with you guys. You guys got into Tesla early because you saw that people love the product. I'm seeing the same thing when it comes to weight loss, and this being a very big thing that's happening. It's like literally a trend that's unstoppable right now. So I was looking originally to buy Novo Nordisk, which, by the way, was another great stock that I ended up buying out and doing really well on. It doubled over the last literally 3.5, 4 months.
Have you taken profits or no?
No, not yet. So
Are you
Novo
waiting for
Nordisk.
12?
No. No. Was that? So let me discuss how I got to Weight Watchers in the first place. So what happened was, because I was so bullish on GLP-1 medications, I ended up buying into Novo Nordisk, which is the maker of Ozempic. The other one that's coming out is called Mounjaro. That's being made by Eli Lilly. So I looked at both companies. I was like, oh, this is good, but they still seem they're on a high level valuation. These are not small companies. This is $300-400 billion companies. So I was like, okay, this, it's whatever. I'm still going to buy a little bit, but it's not going to be an outsized position where you can see something that's very undervalued. Like I thought Novo Nordisk was undervalued a little bit, not like super undervalued. Based on the total market potential. So one of the things I saw was Weight Watchers was partnering with this company Sequence, and actually just had a giant leap because they had even just announced that they were doing this acquisition. So when I looked at it and I said, okay, let me take the eyes of a CEO to see what the value proposition is, all I saw was green. They have more than enough money to cover their operating expenses, and they're generating money. Their user growth numbers are probably going to reaccelerate thanks to this thing, and the amount of money that could generate, it makes it a very compelling buy. So yeah.
What I do like about it is that it's the kind of subscription that it's not the first one out the door, right? Like people get rid of the Netflix. How much is the subscription per month?
So for regular Weight Watchers is only $25. So $25 a month gets you access to like multiple groups that you can meet online, and you can actually meet physically on site, because that's what the big thing was, where you actually go to group meetups, they do weigh-ins, and it's like a cycle of helping everyone lose weight, right? So you're not doing it alone. You're doing it in a group setting. They have coaches that help you, design different plans according to your physical needs, and also foods and stuff like that. And it's basically calorie counting on crack, right? So if you look at the valuation, it was like all the way in the hundreds not too long ago.
Oh, it's come down a lot, dude. It's
So,
really back to
yeah.
2018 levels.
Well, I've been looking at
Yeah.
this in the meantime, and since he made a good trade, by the way, because if you looked all the way back to 2015, and then it rolled the bottom here, confirming that like around $4 was the bottom.
The big change, the game changer for them in
that
2014
run up though, I can see why people are shorting it.
Now,
Well,
the thing is,
Also, look at
that-
it. It's failed multiple times over the 200. Like it's bounced. So if we get a retest, which we probably will, the 200 is here at $4.84 or so. So, Chris, you might want to take a bit of profits in case it does
Yeah.
retest the the 200 day right here. And it looks like it did that a
Yeah.
bunch of times and failed. Did it a bunch of times and failed. I
Yeah.
don't see any reason why it wouldn't try that again and
I
confirm
might
it at least.
I might just do that and basically take a little bit off the top. Maybe even use some of the profits to just buy a couple of protective puts. Their earnings is like going to be coming out in May, so you know we'll see what happens then. But I do want to say the reason for that run up, the reason for their run up in 2014 was directly related to their partnership with.
It's only down 92% right now, and it was down 96%. I mean, something
Yeah.
like this, honestly, this is a shit stock. No offense, but this is a
Yeah.
shit stock. This is like FUV, and it could bounce at any point. Like FUV will go 20-30% up in a day, and everyone's like, why is it going up? Because it's a shit stock. Okay.
Yeah, but
And people
what
trade
if what
shit
he's saying is true, then the narrative has changed. Like this would be the
Yeah.
same as like if Arcimoto signed a deal with Target.
Yeah, but how long
They're
does that
gonna
take to
buy.
play out?
Doesn't matter. On the news, if they announced
No,
tomorrow
I understand,
that
but-
Arcimoto signed a deal with Target, what?
That's fine. But then there's a big bump, and then what happens after the bump?
Well, it depends
that's
on
if
how long
they're-
it takes to deploy.
Not only that, but their product, right? If their product becomes popular, it could be one of the greatest trades in a long time, right? There are companies that have gone from 98% down to like literally recovering their entire market cap. So
That's fine.
it's
So
not-
shouldn't you
yeah.
take your profits? Forget about
Right,
these protective
that's what I'm
puts. Take your profits, hold the free shares,
Yeah.
and then let the free shares ride.
Yeah, that like I said, that is definitely a possibility that I'm considering right now. My only thing is I want to see what happens on May 4th before I do that. So let me just go back. One of the reasons why they ran up so much in 2014 is because they ended up
Here comes the
partnering with
puts.
Oprah. They partnered with Oprah, who was able to like really get a lot of people on board, and a lot of things like just went really right for them at the time. So yeah, just I would say at this point, there's definitely maybe some short-term pain coming, but I think over the long term, this could be a really big winner. You know, so like I
you
said,
could be right. You could be right.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to
Yeah.
I want to share my screen for a second.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Before he leaves, I want to know what is your price target? What is the eventual price target that you think it's going to get to?
I think in a year it'll be $12. I'm pretty sure Goldman is right about that. $12 is I think the level that I think is like a 1 year price target. I'm not big on like 1 year price targets, but 1 year price target is like $12.
Well,
especially
let me just put this back in. Take a look at this again. Let's see.
Yeah.
$12. Where is that? That's right here. And look, there is actually a lot of support. Let's take a look at the $12 right here. Back in the good old days, it bounced off of 12 somewhere around. Well, actually 10 something. Maybe 10 is your number here. So $10, it could very well get past $10. Will it hold currently? I don't know. I doubt it. It is way too far above the 200-day for this kind of stock. Unless fundamentally they literally have changed everything, like you're saying. And I don't know honestly if they did.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be revealed during their earnings, right? So this is one of those things that's like, okay. The other thing is, remember, when you sell these things, you have to fucking pay taxes on it. This would be a short-term
Dude,
gain.
okay, I want to bring this.
Yeah.
Yes. On Twitter, he says he keeps talking about taxes like taxes are bad. Taxes mean you have made money. Let's not forget that. Okay. Taxes mean you did not lose money. You have made money. So
Unless that puts you into a different income bracket. Is that what you're
I'm
worried
already
about?
I'm already at a high income bracket. I'm getting.
So you're
raped
worried
by
about
taxes.
getting over that?
Well, his
I know-
sugar mama wife makes
And-
all the money. Like, I mean, she's killing it.
She paid taxes too. I'm just saying, like, and this year I have
Yeah,
I
real
have
quick,
a
share,
lot of
share
gains
this.
this year.
Talk about that over this picture.
I have and
my price target for
Talk about it over
not for Tesla, but for WW.
He
is
said, no, your
$4.18.
price target's $100. Your price target's $100. According
I
to
say
what you
I say
tweeted.
Tesla should
You
be.
say it should be $100.
Yeah, if we're gonna get into Tesla,
Yeah, you said the word.
you
should.
are way too bullish on the current state of Tesla. We know where it's going. We all agree that this is an amazing company, but it doesn't just because it's an amazing company doesn't mean today it should be valued at that.
All right,
price,
share the
right?
screen. Share the screen real quick because this was back.
Are we
to what
talking
he
about
said.
Tesla?
Kind of. Share that the screen I just shared.
Oh, hold on, I put the wrong thing up. Hold on.
This is if you type ocean barge powered by Tesla's Megapacks into stable diffusion. These are the results you get. This one's actually pretty good. Look at this one.
It's hard to tell where the mega pack is. Where is it?
Well,
it would
it
be
doesn't
internal.
know.
It would be
yeah,
internal.
No, it doesn't know. It doesn't know. But I mean,
Right.
look, it looks like.
I mean, it could totally happen, especially
It's
as
crazy that it just generated these pictures. I don't think it really understands what like a mega pack is. I
right.
think,
Did you put Tesla Mega Pack?
yeah,
Should.
look right there.
Okay.
You can see what I wrote. Ocean barge powered by mega pack. Another one was like
Cool.
ocean.
This bottom red one looks like a comb or a
Which one?
brush.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
This one, anyway. So anyway, back to what you were saying.
Oh well, are we transitioning to Tesla price targets and
Yeah,
where
we
it should
We
be?
could do that. Yeah, I think
There's
Tesla.
been, I mean, there's been so much, like just in the last few days after that. After
Yeah,
the earnings. I feel like I haven't. People don't listen. I didn't see this much attention after Investor Day, which was
Yeah.
a 3-hour presentation of exactly
Well,
what the company.
no, the
wants to
problem
do.
is the stock price goes down. Everybody pays attention. That's the problem.
But the stock price, okay, the stock price going down. This is it's the stock price going down is a result. It's like people voting. It is not actually the company doing worse. Like Elon Musk, honestly, could
It
take
is
Tesla
doing
private at
worse.
this point.
This is what you're missing.
Yeah,
It
the company
is
is
doing
not doing worse.
fundamentally worse.
No, the company
by
is not doing
decreasing
fundamentally
its margins.
worse.
Yes, when the
They're not
margins
doing
go
fundamentally-
down, when
No,
the growth is not the same as we were promised a
He-
year or two ago.
he was
it matters.
asked. He was asked on the earnings call, and he said, "We made a calculation." Did you listen to the earnings call?
That's why I'm
we made
selling
it-
puts. Just kidding.
We made a calculation, and we decided to.
That's why you
so
don't
we
sell puts. You
decided-
buy puts. You idiot. See right there,
buy-
you messed it up.
No, I'm actually
Exactly.
selling puts. I want to buy it at $100. I have to sell puts. I like to make money.
Look, he said on the earnings call that they made a choice to trade profit margin for market share, to sell more vehicles, because they fundamentally
know.
believe
I
that
read the earnings call.
upselling people in the future for FSD, infotainment, supercharging, insurance is gonna bank them in the long run. At the same time, you wanna get as much market share before everybody else really gets in the game, right? This is what we talked about earlier. They're just trying to seed that fleet as much as possible. The thing is, I can give them that, but it's like most companies will, every company's making a bet, right? They're making a bet on something. It's like say the most public ones that I know of is like Meta and Tesla. Tesla is making as big of a bet with the company on FSD as Meta is making with the metaverse. If they fail, those companies are screwed. You know what I mean? And
I
so
don't think so. I think Meta's business is pretty strong.
I
in
mean, okay,
advertising.
yeah, you
Okay.
think that advertising is going to get?
I think it's still a $1 trillion company, even just with advertising.
That's great. I don't, obviously, and that's why you're invested and I'm not, and we'll see. But the point is, they're making a bet on it, and he's reiterating his bet that FSD is going to be this massive generator of value overnight for Tesla owners. And so I think he's making a bet on that, and he said we sacrificed the margins. The other thing too is I read somewhere in the report that they lost something.
See, this is my bedtime. Hold on, everything shuts
and
off.
Face telling them to go to bed.
Hold on, I have an app, so I'll just.
J. Kim, yes, Tesla will be right over the long term, but Tesla's going to get wrecked over the short term. Getting wrecked means that people will sell the stock. It does not mean that the company is doing any worse or better. The disconnect between what people think something is valued and what it actually is valued is our opportunity. And so it's annoying that people are saying this. And yeah, the stock could continue to go down, but Tesla also has all the information and we don't. So yes, it getting wrecked short term it's like, what's his name? He posted, Gary Black was posting, and I responded to him because he wrote, Tesla got punished this morning from investors by this and that. Well, that's an interesting word choice. Punished. Like Tesla doesn't owe them anything. You know what? You don't have to invest in Tesla. He could take that company private tomorrow. They no longer really need access.
I don't think you can take it private anymore.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of issues.
He needs
that would come along
$500 billion now to take it
There's
private.
a bunch of issues that would come along with that. But I mean, it's like he doesn't need access to the capital markets anymore, like they once did. It's amazing to me how people forget that investing in a company is a privilege. Any company, it's a privilege that you get to
It's a privilege. It's a privilege for Elon to have our money. We're the investors.
It's a privilege. No, but what I'm saying is, if a company's doing well, and you know that this company is going to be fundamental, like world changing, it is a privilege to be able to participate in their growth. You know what I mean? All you're doing is you're risking your capital.
That's
if you
all
do your
you're doing.
research and you find, but if you do your research and you find good companies, then you just put your capital in, you watch it grow, and let them execute on your behalf.
Look. Elon is executing a masterful plan. I'm not arguing against the plan in the 10 years from now. I have
your
first
comments.
Off, I have so many fucking shares, and I haven't sold a goddamn
that doesn't
share.
mean anything.
No,
that
it does, because
different.
every day,
no,
every day I don't sell a share means I am
doesn't.
voting to keep my money with Elon and
doesn't.
Tesla. Every day I
But
don't
it doesn't
sell
mean
anything.
look, but it doesn't mean
it's not overvalued.
It doesn't mean that you're listening to what the guy is saying. It doesn't mean that you're listening to what the guy.
I've been listening to him for a long time.
Has the info, is telling you what their plan is. This is what we want to
I
do.
know his plan.
This is why we're doing it this way. This is what we plan for. So you know what the metrics are to look at. He's not concerned with profit margins in the way that Wall Street
I
is.
know. Okay, but hold on. Let me just bring it back. First of all, there's two things I wanted to address with you. One is, okay, he's not concerned with profit margins. Fine. But everybody else is concerned with profit margins. Can we face reality that Wall Street cares about this? Yes or no?
Wall Street can
Okay.
care about it.
So we
But,
know
but
Wall
wait a
Street
minute.
cares
But
about
wait
it.
a minute. But these
Hold
were the
on, I got
same
lots
people.
of follow-up questions.
No, but hold on. But this is the same thing because at a certain point, whether to invest or
Bull
not,
versus
Wall Street.
Ultra Bull. Let's go.
What is it?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I
No,
am bullish. by
Vitaly's
the
a
way.
fake bull. Vitaly's a fake bull. He's
Look,
fake
I don't want to
bull
talk
in
about
these
number of shares, but I'm pretty sure I have more shares than you. So
you-
who's
listen,
the who's the fake bull? Who's the real
probably
bull
do.
here? I have
Bull-
way more
okay.
money on the line with Elon at this point.
Okay, but it doesn't mean that you're accurately representing the company.
But I'm asking you these
But it
questions. So
doesn't-
if Wall
I
Street
know,
knows
I'm asking.
that the
I know.
profit margin goes down,
Hold
hold
on,
on. If
hold
it's going down,
Yes.
that means the stock price the PE has to reflect that in
Uh-huh.
Wall Street terms. That means that has to go down. That means the stock will have to fall between what I'm saying, between 100 and 150, probably closer to 100. If it's the market is
Okay,
rational, it doesn't have to be rational, by the way.
But
It gets there by 150.
okay. But again, those metrics are created by the Wall Street themselves. So Wall Street is creating certain metrics and then expecting Tesla to hit those metrics. And if he's saying to the investors, we could have had, say, 22% margins, but we made a choice to not have those margins so that we can do X, Y, and Z. We wanted to push more. We wanted to push more volume,
Fine.
which I posted it. There's a million reasons why pushing more volume now is a way smarter move. You know what it's like? It's like if you had a movie, okay? You come out with your movie, you do your short film, and you have your movie. That's fine. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't. It's okay.
No,
People can
I
disagree
like
with me.
having control over the comments. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
We got to get a mitt back. my point is, if you were making your movie, you could try to maximize every single dollar by charging a higher. I'm getting a divorce.
Matt Money, this is the funniest thing you've said besides oil goes to 0,000 times. You really need a new line, but this is funny. I'll give you that. Okay.
All right, I'm going to finish my analogy and we can move on. If you're trying to have a long career in filmmaking and you come out with your first movie and you know you can pack a movie theater, right? And you decide to raise the prices of the tickets because you want to generate the maximum amount of money. What's the smarter move? Raise the prices of the tickets or lower them so more people can see them and you can have a longer career. This is the trade-off. It's about more money now or slower.
I'm not saying he's wrong
understand?
in the long term. But once again, it doesn't matter for the next year. The prices are depressed. The margins are turning to shit.
Let's keep drinking. They're not turning to shit. You got to. Language matters.
Dude,
Like it's
I know
18%
18%
lower.
I
They're
know 18%
1.8%
is still
lower
good.
than what the street expected. And this is tanking.
Okay,
This is
once
going
again, you
to
can't
shit.
have a
It's
PE
just
at
inaccurate.
60. You can't have a PE at 60 and then your margins are being compressed down to 10. You can't do that. Okay. So when that
Okay,
changes again,
but you also don't take him at face value that FSD is going to be a thing. You don't believe it at all in the bot.
of course FSD is going to be a
No,
thing.
but you don't believe it. You say always say it's 8 years out, 10 years out, 20 years now. You don't say, look, in 4 years or in 3 years, Tesla will do their first robo taxi in say 2024 at some point. It's very possible.
Okay. So anyway, that's one topic. I think the stock should go to around $100. I'm not saying it will, but under 150,
Right.
I am under 150 bucks, which is close, by the way. And I've been saying this for a while, even with Chris, that under 150 bucks, I think it's worth DCAing, especially, well, it's worth DCAing at 180, but to really go heavier where I would want more shares because I have enough. Where I would want more shares is under 150 and way more at around 100, 110,
You know what I think?
120.
I think that a lot of the people that are shitting on Tesla now, demanding that they just go and sell more vehicles, are a lot of.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying just you in general. I'm saying, but you're echoing a lot of what you're seeing online right now. This is just the general idea after earnings. Is that what are they doing? Why are they not trying to maximize profits? I think a lot of those.
No,
people
I'm not actually saying that. I'm saying what Wall Street will
margins.
do.
When we're talking about margins, we're talking about margins.
I know, but I'm talking about. I know what
profit.
Wall Street will do. They will shit on the stock because they're not going to make any money for a year.
And my point is that the reason why I think the incentive behind that, or the reason they're pushing that narrative, is self-interest. They have a lot of shares, high share count individuals, right? Or options traders want to see their stocks go up as fast as possible. I don't think they like this idea.
Guys, quick question. How do you guys feel because of this earnings report? One of the things that was pretty much confirmed was that there is
a new comment.
There's a definite impact.
Short Tesla.
There's starting to be impact in terms of what people are willing to pay for certain different technologies, right? So Enphase, how is that going to be impacted? Will the higher interest rates, which everyone finances their solar programs to get, will the
Right.
higher interest rates mean that their business will deteriorate and their
Put that one
growth
up
will
on
slow
screen.
down?
Put
Wait,
that one
are we
up on
skipping to
screen, Vitaly.
Enphase? Are we skipping?
No, no, but put that one up on screen. That
Which one?
Jay Kim. Last comment.
Oh, sure. I'll give you
I'm
that.
speaking the truth here, man.
First of all, we're both agreeing that this is the long term is going to work out. So
right.
we're not actually saying this is a different thing. We're talking about, I'm talking
right.
about the next 2 quarters, 3 quarters, where Wall Street will
Okay,
have no choice
Cybertruck's
but to
supposed to-
sell
wait,
off the stock.
first deliveries
and
of
I can
Cybertrucks
buy
are
the
supposed
shares
to
cheaper.
happen
I
next
don't need
quarter.
to buy them this
Hold on.
expensive.
Okay, Cybertruck's first deliveries are supposed to happen next quarter. That's at least the way that
Quarter
we
three, end of quarter 3 is optimistic for Elon speak.
Okay.
And
And you think that I think it'll be very hard for the stock to go down after Cybertruck launch.
if it actually launches with a decent amount of vehicles, it might
1,000
be
vehicles or
difficult.
something like that.
1,000 is not enough. It,
You
it
know,
has to
but
launch
just
like the
enough.
Model
You
3
need-
or Model Y, where it was
Yeah,
like
but you need just enough. Well,
I think
they
it was
even
tens
said,
of thousands,
they'll-
right? Tens of thousands of vehicles.
By the end of this year, I think it's 10,000, maybe 100,000.
You know,
next year.
normally I would have said that Tesla does a pretty good job with launches, but if you look at their trucks,
They never
like
do any good job at launches. What?
Really?
They've
I
always
thought
been
they always
late.
did.
They've been late.
Not in
Oh,
terms of no, not late. I'm saying the actual product. Right now, you've got a lot of issues with the trucks being kind of like sidelined and brought back, and I don't know if there's going to do a recall on it. So that's what I mean. Like with the Cybertruck being a very new technology, new platform, even though technically it's not. Will they have issues when they first come out? Like,
I mean, they just recalled a ton of the Nikola trucks. I think I saw 30,000 Fords were recalled for like actual battery fires. Like it's not easy. Everyone's dealing with this. This is a big change. But Tesla gets an outsized amount of attention when there's an issue. And that is
Tesla's
part of the
winning.
problem.
Look, we all know Tesla's winning. Okay, I wouldn't invest.
But they
a
get
lot of my.
but they get an outsized amount of the fun.
Yeah, because Nikola has three trucks out. Like, who cares? I mean,
it's more than that. It's more.
No, but
it's huge. For
I
a
think
startup,
GM made
that's
two
even worse.
Hummer EVs last quarter. What did they make? 2 Hummer EVs? I mean, it's like it's
right,
idiotic.
right. And I think they also have recalls too. But my point is,
No. Look, Tesla's going to win because also when they lower the margin, they lower the margins for themselves. They lower the price of the cars. How are you going to buy a $60,000 Mach-E if you're getting a $45,000 Model Y?
Well, that's what.
How's that going to happen? You're an idiot.
That is what we're going to
find
find out. That's what we're going to find out. And I don't know. You see that that CNBC when Ross was on it, and he was on. I forgot who else he was on with. And they were talking about all those F-150s that are flooding those the used car sites.
That's good. I wanted them for
like right now. Okay, when I bought my car, right, I would have loved to have been able to pick up another Tesla, right, when the prices were cheap, and then sell it later. A lot of people had this idea to buy a car cheaper and then sell it. But there's a clause in your contract that if you sell it within, I think it's 6 months of the purchase, or is it 3 months? Do you remember, Vitaly?
I think 6 months. 6 months.
Fine. So if you sell it before 6 months to someone else, then you get banned from Tesla. You cannot buy another Tesla for life. For life. A lot of these rich guys got banned for buying a bunch of Teslas and then trying to turn around and sell them. So.
Let me follow up with Gary Black because he has been posting things I actually enjoy. I think he's mostly right.
I subscribed to him today. I subscribed to Gary today.
Oh, you're actually paying?
Yeah,
what is the charge for his Twitter?
He's $5, and I subscribed to 2 people because Whole Mars a blog catalog is following freelance finance.
I applied for Twitter subscribers, but they didn't approve it yet. Like, how long does it take?
I heard that it's a long process. There's some people saying that it could take months. But I'm just trying to work to get eligible right now. To get eligible to get in the queue,
Well, we'll talk about that. But in terms of Gary, he basically says Tesla should advertise 1 billion times, and you keep saying no, Tesla shouldn't advertise. They sell everything, blah blah blah. Yeah. But here's the question for you: like a lot of people just don't know about. We talk about EVs all day, so we know all the benefits. But imagine there's a commercial. For example, I was thinking of like even doing this commercial for Elon for free. No joke. Imagine a Ford F-150, whatever, not Ford, some Model Y competitor gas car. I don't know what that is. A Camry? I don't know. Whatever is a competitor.
A Model Y competitor would be
whatever.
The RAV4.
Well, okay, RAV4, whatever. It's probably cheaper. But anyway, RAV4 is driving. The guy's coming home at night, right? It's 8 p.m., 9 p.m. He's coming home. He's like, fuck, gas tank is low. He has to go to the gas station. Like, just imagine this kind of commercial, just like Tesla showing why EVs are better. He has to go to the gas station. Shit, this pump is out of service. Fuck, he's late for dinner. As opposed to the Tesla person who they keep talking about has to worry about range anxiety. He just drives home, plugs it in right away, boom, right at your house, goes in, has a nice dinner. So like just that little benefit that people don't think about You know what I mean? Just show people the benefits of having EVs.
I mean, I think that's
one more simple benefit, like
Okay.
brakes. I don't use my brakes a lot. The guy's brakes get worn out. He's at the service station more often. Like this whole series of commercials showing the benefits. He's at the brakes, changing brakes every year and a half, right? Tesla, you might have drive 5 years without changing your brakes.
So here's a question, Vitaly.
Right.
You're
follow me?
cinematographer. Yeah, you're a cinematographer. Why? Here's a question, and this is just me saying this. Why don't you actually go ahead and create those commercials
That's what I
and
was
put
just
them
thinking.
on your channel, right?
That's what I was-
And put it on Twitter and let fucking people get on it, because this way you get notoriety on the specific thing
Damn,
you're
Elon
talking
is
about.
smart. He's getting me to
I
fucking
mean,
spend
look,
tens of thousands
read
of
the
dollars.
last
creating
read the
commercials.
last two comments, because that's what I agree with. More advertising doesn't mean more sales. It means more brand recognition. Price reduction equals
No, it doesn't even have to
sales.
be for Tesla itself. I'm talking about just people don't understand why EVs are beneficial. Like when I
Yeah, but
personally
you,
talk,
you sound like you're saying exactly what Emmett Peppers is saying. I've been arguing with him on
Vitaly,
Twitter. the
I
last
think-
couple
no,
of
I'm
days.
saying
think you
regular
should-
people don't know the benefits.
Right,
They
because
just don't know.
your idea is educating. It's up to Tesla to educate the public on the transition.
It's part of it. Tesla
Right,
said,
okay.
yes, it's part
Okay,
of
but
that
my
thing.
thinking is right now. Okay, think about it. You're in Elon Musk's position. All the legacy auto are already doing that. Are already showing you the benefits of EVs, right? And people,
No, they're just showing like cool cars and stupid things happening. They're actually not showing you the benefits of these
of
things.
course, they are.
Have you seen their dumb commercials?
Yeah, I've seen like the Hyundai Ioniq.
No,
Every
they
time I
don't
click a
actually
YouTube
show
video,
you the benefits I'm talking about. The benefits that hit the pocketbook.
They
Like,
do. They
for example, imagine a
Totally.
commercial with a bill at the end of the month for gas, right? Like a RAV4, which I had, and I'm paying 200, 300 bucks for gas, or show my $50 per month bill for my EV because it's just cheaper to drive it.
Here's
Just
here's
simple
what
shit like this.
here's an idea, and maybe Elon, if for some reason, if this ever gets back to Elon, if somehow he watches Freelancer Finance, maybe they should do a competition to say whoever makes the best Tesla commercial will get a free Model S Plaid, right? If they do that.
Shit,
And
I
so
would do
this
it for
way
that
you have
then.
people would do a competition, and then you could do like a vote on Twitter, like a poll on which one wins, right? And then you could use that. So this way you just got yourself free. Yeah.
They
You would
they
get-
kind of do. They do something like that. Like did you send your pictures in, Vitaly, for Earth Day on the app?
No, no.
I don't know.
I'm
It
telling
should
you,
have prompted you.
Vitaly, I'd say you
Just
just
take
create the
pictures of your
commercial.
car and send it. The best one.
Create-
No, but you're missing the point. Like, okay, let's
Yeah.
say I create the commercial, then I'm waiting for Elon to see it and tweet it to everybody, blah, blah, blah. So we're tweeting it to the same people who drive the EVs, who already believe in it. I'm talking about you have to reach the people who aren't on Twitter.
No, but that's the point, that maybe it's a commercial that he likes so much that he's like, okay, you know what? I'll throw some dollars behind this and put it to actual
That's
advertising.
just not going to happen.
You know,
Sorry, guys.
because
it's
if-
just not
if-
the way it works. I
or
work in
if-
advertising. It doesn't work that way.
Or
Like, it
goes
just doesn't
viral.
work that way.
Or maybe it
Viral
goes
is the way. Like, yes,
Yeah.
viral is the way. Like, it's
Yeah.
just
Sure, you know, he
listen,
can create
listen.
commercials and go viral with them.
Look, the other thing
Sure.
is like the like this idea of like getting a 30-second commercial that you put on like, you know, ABC. Yes, it reaches a lot of people, but that's just not the model anymore, man. It's just moving away from that. The streaming services have won in that sense. It's only a matter of time. And so it just doesn't like that traditional advertising, the idea of like the 30-second spot is king. It's just not like that anymore. It's more about social. It's more about engagement. It's more about creating interactions and having people share your shit. I think Elon understands this. And I think this is what he meant when he said Twitter is going to bring incredible value to Tesla owners. Like,
I mean,
if he didn't buy Twitter, think about how much any good information or news about Tesla would be suppressed, you know?
I mean, if you think about it, if he put on a commercial on just Twitter, like let's say he took something
Yeah.
Vitaly creates and he literally just retweets it and puts it on one thing. How many impressions does the guy get per tweet? I mean, look at how
100 and something million, 100 and whatever million.
that's better than any commercial on regular TV that you could think about. It
This
costs him
is what
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And obviously he advertised this way too. He knows people will create free content. People have channels talking about it. Like how many Mach-E
Dude,
channels
Trump
are there
won-
talking
Trump
about
won-
Tesla? I mean, I'm talking about Mach-E's right now. Who's talking about Ford Mach-E's on like
No
a
one's
dedicated
talking.
channel?
Okay, there's 2 points. Number one, the first one would be how much, I think it was something like $5 billion or at least $2 billion in like free promotion Trump got during the election by being on TV. He didn't have to even do anything, just got it for free. And that helped him win. And to your point about like the Mach-E's and whatnot, these guys that are basically shitting on Tesla for their earnings, I want to see what I was actually reading Volkswagen's financials. I think they released them today. And so I was looking at what their financials, vehicles sold and whatnot. It's like they should be as critical of those companies. And I'm curious to see what their response is with that.
Well, no, they're not gonna. I mean, obviously, like Tesla's the.
But if you say,
the
obviously, like,
1,000-pound
well,
gorilla.
but that's a bias. Then that is
Not a
that's
bias, dude. Tesla is valued at $500 billion, and Ford is valued at what, 60 or 50
Okay, but
or
Ford,
30.
what does Ford make?
My point
markets
is
are
those
Ford
car
in?
companies are already
What
being
I know,
dissed.
but what markets is Ford in? They sell light trucks, right? And they sell cars. That's it. That's literally it.
No, I know, but you're saying
Tesla's like an ETF.
Tesla's
unto
already
itself,
considered
and we
special.
focused on one piece of it. You know.
All right, I think we should move on from this.
No,
'cause the
he
debate's
gets
getting
angry
kind of-
that people talk smack about Tesla,
No,
and that's because
no,
it's
no.
valued at $500 billion.
It's not, I don't get mad if people talk. I think we should. I think we should be critical of them. I just disagree with the
right,
metrics that you're using to criticize them.
All right, here's a
and
question.
what you think the stock should be valued.
What
Yeah.
happened? What
Well,
happened? To
I'm using
Enphase this year?
Wall Street. No, but this is important actually.
I know what Wall Street wants. I know. You're
No, but
using
we have to
the
care
Wall-
about that. We can't ignore that. What the big money does, we're finance YouTubers, quote unquote.
Right.
We're supposed to care what the big guys are doing with their money. You say this all the time. If the big guys are selling it off,
Yeah.
I should be aware that they're selling it off and not just rush in like a fucking idiot. I should wait for a better price and buy it when it's actually a better price for me.
No, what I've said is that we're going to need the institutional money in order to reach the market caps that we want. Yes, we do.
And as they sell off, what happens to the stock price? It tanks.
But that is fine if you're still accumulating shares. It's fine.
I'm
But to
always
somehow
accumulating. I don't
but to
mind accumulating.
Look, here's the thing. When we look back, like anyone that looks back at Amazon stock, it seems so obvious that they were going to be what they are today, right? Who's this? That's Mac talking about it. That's mine. When we look back, you look back at all the companies that have succeeded when they thought that they weren't going to succeed. It always looks so obvious in retrospect. And I think that's what this is going to be in another 10 years. It's going to look like it's going to be so obvious.
Finally,
Yeah.
finally, someone said that.
Chris is trying to switch the topic. I'm not saying anything.
Listen, Carlos, this is the longest
Let
me
him.
and you have ever talked on a Chris with a Chris podcast.
I just think you guys are saying the same exact thing, except Carlos is thinking long term and you're talking short term. That's
I'm talking
the
only this
difference
year,
that I'm
right?
saying.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about this year. I'm not talking about the next
long-term
decade.
investors, man.
Dude, I'm not
Yeah.
getting rid of any shares. Okay,
I'm a
Tesla's the
long-term
best.
investor.
Let me just put it easily. Tesla is the best investment you're going to make for the next decade. Bottom line, and phase two, both of those stocks. But
It might be a good idea to buy some puts here and there, though. You know, once-
No, listen, you're not. You're
no,
not
but
wrong.
we're
You're not
obviously
wrong.
both bullish. But I'm
No.
still not going to ignore Wall Street shitting on it and selling it off because it's not going to make any money on it.
I just
And
okay.
if they're not
here's
gonna make
my-
any money
here's
on
the
it,
core of my
I'm
issue.
not going to make any money
No,
on
hold
it.
on, hold on. I think to drill down, the core of my issue is that I do not believe the motivations of these people saying these things. I don't believe it's coming. I believe it's coming from a place of self-interest.
Well, of course,
think so.
I
I
think if
think
you want a better price.
I think if you've got 2-year calls on Tesla, you're going to be really bearish right now. You know,
No,
and I
but
don't
hold
think
on.
if you have
I
a
think
big audience, I don't think
buying
that's-
calls as it tanks closer to the $100 is what I missed the last time. I didn't go balls out when it hit on. I bought shares, but I didn't buy those calls. And now, if it does, I go anywhere near
Who bought
100 bucks.
calls? Who bought calls?
This motherfucker
Right
bought
here.
calls, right?
That's right.
Well,
But I
I'm
think you're
just
down on
saying,
them now.
Huh?
could be
I sold them. I sold them at 200, bro.
Oh,
I made
congratulations!
my
Oh, nice.
money. I made my
Nice.
money.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, did you see what homeboy from BlackRock sold out? Sold like 5% of his portfolio.
Pink? No, Fink?
What's
Fink
his
sold-
name? Yeah, let me look that up.
Larry
Yo,
Fink.
yeah, sold a
Larry Fink.
bunch.
He only sold 25 million. His net worth is $1 billion.
Hold
He's
on.
fine.
Maybe I'm reading this wrong.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you know, me and Carlos have been in Tesla for a while.
Long
okay?
time.
We've been in there for a while. We've seen the 20x runs. My only
And
regret
still-
is not
still
taking
buying.
it at 1 trillion, taking any profits after
Yeah, not
buying
taking
at
any
$40
or not,
billion dollars.
right, or not buying more. Like I would have sold a
Oh
kidney
my
in
God.
2020. I did everything I could. It still wasn't enough.
Anyway. All right,
Okay.
we'll move on. to
Enphase.
Tesla.
Enphase.
Really?
Enphase. Yeah.
Is there any?
Is Enphase going
you-
to be impacted by this?
Wait, by
Uh,
what?
So one of the things that
Yeah.
was told on the conference call was that, you know, there is demand that's starting to slow down for some newer technologies. One of them, of course, was Tesla, but the other side of it is, will solar demand drop because of higher interest rates? Because if you think about it, a year ago, the interest rate you could have got on a personal loan to get a solar roof was, I think, 8-9%. I don't know what it is
Less
right
than
now,
that,
but it's
no?
probably
Less
I
than
think
that.
I think this is a tough question because like you would rationally you sound correct because if interest rates are 10% to get a loan for solar, it sounds correct. But the problem is if energy itself is going up too and people are smart enough, because I've went over the math with you I think before So it still makes sense right now to get solar. Like right now, if you did all the math and you worked out the energy costs, okay? But I don't know if everybody's going to be doing that. So I think it will be impacted in some sense. But is it enough to slow down a company like Enphase, which can't even keep up with demand currently, and they're sold out for 3 months out, 6 months out, where they might miss that year that we're talking about? Does it make sense? We
Yeah, that
might
makes
miss that
sense.
year. Then when the rates start
Enphase
to
needs
come
to advertise.
down,
That's the conclusion. Is Enphase needs to advertise.
they do advertise, and they advertise about the sun being
so
the best
bad.
thing ever.
I know, it's so bad.
Didn't you complain about their advertising? How
Oh,
shitty?
The
was
worst
Sunny
advertising in the
Sunny
world. In
Coast
fact,
the
they
Discord
should
was,
not
like,
advertise. They're so bad at
furious.
it.
But the thing is, he wasn't wrong. It's like it's just god awful. Market.
Ronald Reagan asked Chris how much SLG lowered their dividend. They didn't. They just reported they didn't lower it at all.
All right, it's
what's your
12:38.
answer?
I think you're right. We should probably answer just some questions and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions? If you're not, then we'll just log off.
So for the next earnings, all the earnings are starting to come out. Any ideas on
Which
how
one?
you
Which
guys
one are
are
you looking at?
positioning yourselves?
Who's coming
Well,
up this week?
how are you guys positioning your portfolios to that? Wait, what did they put? Hey,
up
Chris,
the
how
screen.
difficult SLG to convert office space to condos? That all depends on the regulatory framework of New York City. It's still going to be a while. The thing that makes me bullish on SLG is that a lot of their commercial clients are starting to set up RTO, which is return to office mandates. So yeah, that's going to happen. And SLG doesn't need to convert everything to condo. They have some older buildings here and there with their joint venture partners that they could possibly convert to condos, but no, they're still getting pretty good rates in terms of their Class A buildings in New York City. Highly undervalued company. I think eventually in 2 years, people wake up. It goes back to its normal trading range around maybe $80. So right now is a good time to accumulate slowly, and get paid a nice dividend on top of it. So.
I could take this one and I'll show the chart because I haven't looked at it in a while anyway, so might as well see it.
I'm just pulling it up myself.
I'm bringing up Enphase. Hold on.
Yeah.
Present. All right. So you see the chart, everybody?
The thing with Enphase is, regardless of what the purchase price is and the loan, as long as the energy that's generated by the system covers you, it's a no-brainer. There is no reason to not do it. You know what I mean? The other part of it too is like a lot of, I'm assuming they're selling more to customers now, but a lot of their business is to solar installers, and so there might be an inventory, like a buffer that they have, so it might take longer to see.
So just to answer, I mentioned when it was a good time to buy Enphase because usually when it goes underneath the 200-day, right here, the green line, and as well when the RSI is low around 30, which it was here. I think this price was what, $180, $190. So that's when I went a bit heavier to buy more, but it's still under the 200-day. So, you can dollar cost average. It's still a decent buy under the 200-day, but I'm still waiting for the one, I'm hoping for like a washout, honestly. Like, so Chris is waiting for 150. I think anything under 170 for me is like I'm probably going pretty heavy. Under 170, 180 for sure. But under 200, I've been scaling in. So when it was 200 bucks, I was buying. 190, I bought. 180, I bought way more. So I'll just keep doing that. That's my strategy right now.
Someone asked, did anything stand out from SLG's earnings call? Yeah, they're getting a lot of interest in their lease renewals. They've actually put forward a lot of their lease renewals, and their pipeline of leases is actually growing. So a lot of people were thinking, oh, well, Manhattan office real estate is dead. It's like, no, go to Manhattan and see for yourself if Manhattan real estate is dead. So yeah, just double check on that.
And in terms of Enovix, look, they only make 8 batteries.
Their revenue is like in the millions, but this is fine. I mean, I'm actually fine. That's one of the ones I'm trying to accumulate as much as I can.
Yeah, well, we're buying it. We've been buying it.
If you join our Discord, you can see our trades. If you become a Patreon member, you can see our trades.
Yeah, and we had some people join, so thank you for joining if you're on this stream. But Enovix is a spec bet, and Enphase is not a spec bet to me. Like, I could overpay for Enphase in the interim. That could be true, but I don't consider it a spec bet. I consider it's just easy money if there's such a thing in the market. Enovix is not easy money because it can fail. Just because TJ Rogers is the guy, he's the man, no joke, but it can fail. It's just a spec bet right now.
All right, one last thing before we go. Among the FANGs, Amazon Amazon, in my opinion, is going to kill it in the next 2 years. So if you can get in at the prices right now, Amazon is the best.
Let's
Bet.
take a look. Let's take a look at
You've
Amazon.
made me. You honestly, just hearing you, you've made me want to take a second look at them. Honestly, because
Yeah.
I've always believed them, and I feel like they're solid. But yeah, you've definitely
They're-
made me. Like, let me look into this.
They're high classing their margins. They're cutting back on their capex. They're cutting back on their opex. The same exact playbook that happened to Salesforce, that happened to Meta, is going to happen to Amazon, and that's already starting to recover. So you're looking at a company whose revenues have grown double over since 2019. Yet you're getting to buy the stock at 2019 price.
So I want to show you Amazon's chart just so you know where we are. Okay. This has been its trend over the last since January of 2002.
You're like, this is where Jesus was born.
No, but the thing is,
This is
I
where-
wish I knew technical analysis in 2002, or at least in 2005 or 2010, because it's been
Yeah.
following this trend kind of insanely. And look where we are now. I mean, like, if Amazon
Yeah, at the
fixes
bottom
their
of the
shit,
range.
if Amazon fixes their shit, it's right at the bottom of the range. Let's say 2026. What does January 2026 look like? Let's see.
Yeah,
If
they're
it
back
stays
to
in-
300 again. Yep.
I'm just hold on. Let me just go right here. We are at $360 approximately, somewhere around there for Amazon. If it stays in this range and they fix their shit, which they're probably going to do, I see no reason why Amazon can't continue on this trajectory. And they haven't escaped. They're still on this trajectory at this point. It's kind of crazy. 20 years in the making.
That is crazy, because most of the time you'll see it start to pivot. It starts to look like the rainbow chart, that logarithmic.
Yeah. Anyone not buying Amazon now, you're a fool. Honestly, you don't understand.
What is that? What's that price pre-split?
Look at the
2000.
RSI. Look at the RSI on the damn thing. That's another.
By the way,
thing.
this is monthly. Just
Oh,
to
yeah.
point that
Yeah.
out. So,
Well,
so
still-
I'm looking at the monthly chart, and just to show you that this massive trend. So we're still low. You're right. We're still low in the RSI and the monthly, and the daily maybe not. Let me see what we're on the daily. We're probably higher. So if you're just trading it and you're just a day trader, it's getting up there. It's already at 64. It's probably not the best time to buy Amazon in terms of the daily.
For me, I have a $200 price target on it in 2025.
Yeah.
by 20.
I have calls. Remember we bought calls at the same
Yeah.
time?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Amazon is touching the 200-day. Remember, these stocks, if they're good companies, they will live above the 200-day. This is very simple. It's below the 200-day. Probably a good time to buy. And yes, Tesla's better than Amazon, but it doesn't matter. We can't. I don't want to have all my money in one stock. I just don't want to do it. So I'm not going to have everything 100% Tesla.
And
That's-
Google's the other monster, by the way. A lot of people don't want to talk about, but Google right now is a great time to start accumulating Google. So the two companies that are definitely in for a much faster recovery, considering that they're actually cutting back on their OPEX and they're rearranging their business to meet the actual goals, and they have enough free cash flow to buy back shares, Google and Amazon. They haven't rode it up like Zuckerberg and Meta. Meta went from, was it $80-$90 to 100 to 214?
Yep.
So right now, if you get a chance, Amazon and Google, baby.
Yeah. I think those are like two easy bets in the FANG stocks, just like no brainers.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, I got a jet.
All right.
All right.
That was a good pod, everybody. Thanks for coming. And
Yeah.
We're gonna do this tomorrow. We're gonna do this tomorrow and get him as a jet.
oh geez, I guess we're doing this tomorrow. Okay. See you all tomorrow.
He's just gonna DCA more into Palantir. Palantir.
We do.
Well,
have
yeah.
to-
If we're gonna shit on Amit for a minute, yes, he has the worst investing strategy known to man.
What, the DCA into Palantir now?
Oh my god, it's like at some point you got to stop and like smell the fucking shit
Wait.
all over the place.
Listen, I don't know for sure, but I don't think he bought anything after he bought the 25 grand.
No, he kept DCAing.
No, he
just,
didn't.
Yeah, he's still DCAing into Palantir. He's buying a little bit every couple of weeks or something. He said it a couple of times already.
I mean, look, as a trader, this potential S&P inclusion thing, there's going to be money to be made. But if they,
But
they
once
miss
again, we're talking about
profitability-
Amazon and
if they
Google.
miss profitability one quarter. I'm just saying, but if you want to invest in Palantir, right? S&P inclusion's
Okay.
it's a good thing.
Tesla's
you-
going down. Tesla's going down.
I know.
Enphase is going
We're
down.
Talking about right.
Okay.
We're talking about Palantir.
Google is down.
I
Amazon is down. I
understand
gotta go
that.
buy this piece of shit
Yes,
stock.
I know. I have social media. I have eyes. I'm saying if you believe in Palantir as a company, that's good news for you as an investor, because you're like, but if they miss one quarter,
Thank you, Jai Kim. If I think I'm saying that right, Jai Kim.
J
Kim, whatever.
Kim?
But the point is this: that
Whatever.
it's not bad to speculate on a company, but when you have a target rich environment where right now there are companies selling for so fucking cheap that are
Yeah.
generating a ton of cash flow, that have proven business models and proven leadership, you're foolish to lock your capital away in speculative shit. That's all that I'm trying. Like, that's the key that we
I
have
know.
to look at.
I
Right.
know.
You're basically
I-
saying buy Amazon and Google. This is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the
Like,
same thing. We were screaming at the top of our lungs when Meta was like $80, $90. It was like,
Yep.
we could not have said it any higher. Same thing with when Tesla was trading at 100.
Dude, remember they were calling us crazy all day long. It fucking sucks. This is going to $0. This is going to $20. This is
Dude, Gabe, my friend Gabe, he fucking bought puts on the S&P, and those puts got fucking annihilated. You know, come
I
on.
saw a
He
stat
bought-
that was like day traders
he
lose
short-
$380,000 a day or something like that.
do not
shorts-
do not short America. I'm not kidding. I'm saying that like not just as an American who was a foreigner who came to America but is now an American.
Right, unless it's an American with a Russian accent.
Hello. Do not short America,
Hello,
please.
do not. Do that.
No, but I'm saying it's ridiculous because at the end of the day, America will win. If it doesn't, then we are in a way bigger problem in the world if they don't. Okay. So Amazon, Google, and not Palantir. There you go.
So be American, right? Bet on America.
Be American. Buy Palantir. No, I'm just kidding. Amit's
All
gonna
right, that was
clip
fun,
that.
guys.
Amit's
I-
gonna
I
clip that. I
agree.
bet you.
It's on our channel. He can't clip it.
He can clip anything. This guy steals. You know.
All right.
All right,
Well, this
later,
was good, guys.
All right.
Take
later.
care.
See you later. Bye.